Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond, Green Chambers in London, and today I'm looking at a book which is of interest, I think, to a lot of people in the insurance world, for obvious reasons, because of the title. It's MacGILLIVRAY on Insurance Law. It's now in its 14th edition, and it's been written by John Birds, Ben Lynch and Simon Paul. The book comes to us from Maxwell, Thomson, Reuters, and it's part of the Insurance Practitioners Library. Elizabeth and I talked about this book, and we've given it for our title, recognised as the most concise and authoritative short statement on insurance law. MacGILLIVRAY is out now in a new edition. Well, let's have a look at it first of all, shall we? Here it is. Whoops. Let's put that up properly. There it is. It's a hardcover. There's the front, there's the spine. You can see the bit. There's nothing actually on the back at all. If I open it up, it's got a divider in it, which is quite helpful there. But on the back page, it's by paragraph numbering, the index, very much in the house style of Sweet and Maxwell. It's a very substantial index, actually. I was quite pleased with the detail of the index, and right at the beginning of it, when I get there, you've got the legal taxonomy, which mentions how it's actually to be used. You've got the paragraph numbering at the sides there, and of course you've got substantial footnotes all the way through the book. It runs to something like 1,300 pages. This is the front page here, which shows you the basic information. Quite interesting. It's got a subtitle relating to all risks other than marine. And what's interesting as well is that it lists the previous editions, which I thought was quite helpful. You get some idea of when the first edition came out in 1912, and obviously run through since then. Do read the preface, which is worth having a look at. And then of course you've got the table of contents running all the way through, which is quite substantial. You should be able to find things quite easily here in the various chapters. There are 38 chapters in total. Then you've got the table of cases, and then after the table of cases, which there are quite a large number, you've then got the, let's get to it, the actual, so you can see quite a lot of cases. Then you've got the table of statutes there. Again, that runs through, again, it's a substantial number. Then the statutory instruments, of course, and then you can see after that there is a table of European legislation. This is becoming a common feature, of course, now in most publications. And then after that you've got the non-statutory regulations and rules, of course. Then it starts in section 1 being the general principles, and you can see the structure of the book. So it's standard format with, as I say, paragraph numbering at the side plus footnotes, and quite a large number of subheads all the way through. There we go, you see it runs all the way there. So what do we say about this book? Well, we say this: it's a truth universally unarguable that you can't do without insurance, or if you do so at your peril, whether the risk is either large or small. And as insurance is well-nigh universal in its multiplicity of forms, so is insurance law. Not too surprising then, is it, that insurance law is up there among the law's most complicated areas, and I certainly have found that with the amount of work I've done in this area. Fortunately though, for generations of insurance law practitioners over the past 100 years and more, just a bit more, there's always been MacGILLIVRAY. Venerable though it may be as a work of reference, it has gone through frequent updates over the years since E.J. MacGillivray's first edition appeared in 1912, just before the First World War, and it's remained forever young, reliable, readable and up to date. So MacGILLIVRAY on insurance law, in fact, has been consistently regarded as the most authoritative statement on insurance law available in one volume. And as of this year, it makes its appearance in a new edition, the 14th, from Sweet and Maxwell. And for some of the more harassed practitioners in insurance law, this publishing event we think is something of a cause for celebration. This new edition reflects the changes, and there have been a lot of them, that have taken place in insurance law since the previous edition of 2015. As the editors assure us, old material has been deleted to make way for new, as the Insurance Act 2015 has been incorporated generally into the work. And of course the editors also refer to the usual steady stream of reported cases, a new MIB agreement and other developments, including those emanating from the Law Commission's project on insurance contract law, particularly insurable interest. Now, a precise definition of insurance is inevitably elusive, say the editors, but it's nonetheless interesting on the part of the insured, the insurer and the lawyer to consider the short section on promises to pay. The insurer, it is said, must undertake a binding obligation to pay the insured upon the happening of the relevant event. A contract whereby the notional insurance has no contractual right to be paid in that eventuality, but merely a right to require the notional insurer to give earnest consideration to his claim for an indemnity and to pay him at his discretion, is not a contract of insurance. And a contract of insurance, we are reminded, is intended to confer security and certainty on the insured, and not merely an expectation of payment, however well founded. Well, you've been told, and it's very handy it is too, to have this point clarified. So with its succinct and informative coverage of every conceivable aspect of insurance law within its more than 1,400 pages, that's to include the with a huge number of index for the cases and so forth. It's a very useful book and surprisingly handy to carry with you. Its detailed footnoting and the extensive tables, as I've indicated, of cases, statutes, SIs and European legislation provide together a mine of research material, and there's also a table of non-statutory rules and regulations, which I have to say I found quite interesting. All this, plus a detailed table of contents and a very substantial index, make it relatively easy for the busy practitioner to look things up. So whether insurance law specialist or not, every lawyer, excuse me, we feel that every lawyer should have a copy of the latest MacGILLIVRAY in his or her professional library. And the editors have endeavoured to state the law as of the 1st of May 2018, and I'm recording this in the autumn. So one last look at it. There we go, there's the book, nice green cover. It's a hardback. There's the spine, and then just opening it in the middle, you can see this is on interest and costs. Very substantial amount of work, and it is very, very authoritative. So you should be able to find everything you're looking for in this particular book. Well, a big thank you to the publishers for continuing to publish this work. As I say, they're celebrating the moment just over 100 years, 106 years, but I'm sure it will be with us for a great deal longer than that. In the meantime, thank you to everybody concerned with the publication, which does make our lives easier. Thank you. Bye-bye.